Hey Derek, how you doing? Oh, this is true. The iPad stands have been key. I thought I gave you one though, didn't I give you one? But then there was another one which I kept. Hey Biz, how you doing? Hey, Roxanne, good evening. Hope you're doing well. Is it Friday night that feels like a Monday night? That feels like a Wednesday night? That feels like a Sunday night? I can't even, in a beautiful way, can't even tell the difference anymore. Yeah, at first I remember noticing the difference of the weekend versus the week because of the cycle of information and how news was changed. So I remember distinctly feeling that. But now, for about the last, I would say, 10 days or so, um, even if I sit for a second, I really don't or can't recall what day of the week it is. And I don't know if that's a great thing when you're scheduled to do things. Like earlier this week, I had a phone call, and then yesterday I had a private, and I just totally blanked on both of them. So I realized that I have to start writing things down. The brain is not working the same way in memorizing, appointments and things like that. So, if you're like me and visual things are important, I got to make this little change. It was looking a little crooked. Hope that's better. Can't wait too to get back to the studio and do these live streams because I'll be able to set up the equipment and then leave it there, and versus moving it around, which is always interesting to get it set back into the relative same position as what you had it in last time. All right, so let's do this, everybody. I hope you can hear me okay. Roz, welcome back. Oh, we need about 30 seconds. Someone wanted to come and he was very upset that he couldn't say, well, come on out. We got 30 seconds. You want to say something? He was very upset last night that he couldn't come out. He thought he had missed the practice completely. So here we are, bud. You want to say hi? Do you want to teach the class?
I gonna watch and hear what I see.
You're going to see who's that? Oh,
Me!
that's you? Is it fun to see you?
And then I'm gonna see Mommy.
Did you just get out of a bath?
Yeah.
Are you getting ready for bed?
Yeah.
Yeah? What else? Can you give us some wisdom?
Where's Bobby?
And she's not coming out. She's going to stay inside.
She's right there. We can't see her, but she's right there.
But you can't see her. Do you have any wisdom that you can share with us? What's the key to life, Ben?
20 seconds.
20 seconds? I agree with that. 20 seconds at a time?
Maybe. What's it at the torch? And look down.
Down dog. you, you go. Oh, you're teaching class? You're teaching class? All right. I'll hold you up like, what is it? Baby Simba?
Baby Simba.
Say goodnight, everybody. I'm going to bed.
Good night, everybody. And poopy to you guys.
Good night. We're going to start class now.
And pee-pee and poo-poo are every night on your clothes.
And there you have it. Hi, Ashley. Greetings. You just missed a 2-minute stand-up by Ben Rose. All right, you guys. I'm going to start the playlist now. If you're following along on Spotify, go ahead and start your playlist. And give everybody a second to set your volume on your video and your audio if you're choosing to add music. As I was saying before, Friday night that feels like a Monday night, that feels like a Wednesday night. It can just be the evening, and we can simply appreciate that this is a beautiful way and to wind down with a day. And so I know Ra's East Coast, it's already dark. We have this beautiful opportunity on the West Coast of slowing down with the sun as it's setting. And Emily, I know in Chicago the sun is probably already down. And so let's take ourselves through the transition one more time and continue our adventure with the relationship to our practice, and which is the relationship to ourselves and to everybody else. And go ahead and lie down onto your back, please, and come into Shavasana. And if you have something like it underneath your head, you can go ahead and place your block or your pillow underneath your head. As your hips get heavy, feel into your low back. Rest across the front of your belly and across your ribs. And you can kind of take your fingertips and your thumbs and start to feel the notches in between your ribs. So in these notches, if you just start to run your thumbs along them, the grooves in between your ribs, if you will, those are going to be your intercostal muscles. Secondary muscles to the inhalation every time you take a breath into your body. So if you weren't touching them, you wouldn't be feeling them, most likely. You would notice when you put your thumbs or your fingers into those grooves, and you're sliding through, and kind of kneading into the muscle, then there's a sensation. Sometimes the sensation is more intense than what you thought it would be. Because remember, prior to this, with your thumbs, you weren't feeling it at all. And do that a few more times. You're going up, you're going down, finding different grooves. And then let's take our right hand onto the belly. Rest your left hand just below your chest. And you can close your eyes. You should be able to observe the rise and fall of your belly in your right hand. And the gentle beat of your heart underneath your left. Whatever space your practice has induced or presented into your life, I want to encourage all of us to sustain the connection and the relationship to this space, no matter what lies ahead, what beautiful moments or what challenges we may face. And don't worry, if we continue to practice together, I'll be reminding you of this on a regular basis. We're forgetful as human beings. It's easy to forget. We're adaptable in the nature of our being. We adapt to our environment. We adapt to the conditions of our environment. And let's keep the left leg out. Slide your right knee in. And set up for wind releasing. Hands on top of the shin. Interlace your fingers. Cross your thumbs. You can reset your head, neck, and shoulders if you need to. And let's start to soften into your right hip crease, which will allow your knee to come closer to your chest. And last evening, if you were here, it was an outer hip extravaganza. And so you may be feeling that when you do something, compared to just before doing nothing, just like touching the muscles in between our ribs, the odds are is that you're going to feel it thereafter. Introducing mindfulness and kindness and compassion and love, flowing with the direction of your practice. Even when you feel some of that discomfort that, exists after a practice, you know where it came from. When you know where it came from and you understand the approach, then you can start to build a totally different meaning, is context and relationship to the rest of your life. And just from doing and sitting in some silly yoga poses. As you continue here on your back, gently begin to rock your right knee out and in. You're not changing the position of the knee, bringing it any closer to your chest. And we're just gently rocking the head of the femur bone, where it connects into your hip. And the next time you come back and your hips are flat, let's take your right foot up as you release the shin and switch the grip so you interlace on the back of the hamstring. You don't force it, but see if you can straighten the leg into the hands. And the weight of gravity apply itself back down into your hips and your shoulders. You notice if your chin turned up, let your chin settle back down. And so you know you're not muscling it. You could always put a micro bend to your right knee. Knuckles through knuckles, and so you've got that action and creating traction for your wrists. And let's continue to receive here. You notice how comfortable you're getting with things coming up. It's almost exciting when things come up. Let's take 3 deep breaths here, please. As you exhale, start to bend your right leg, bring your heel down slowly. And it's greatness here when you're not rushing in and you're not rushing out of these poses. And the beauty and the mystery of where we're going, let your grip go. And then release your right leg back onto the mat. And let's observe all the way down the length of your right side. And go ahead and rest here. Notice your heart softening if you've always identified that, hey, your heart feels pretty hard. It's had some walls, unconsciously or subconsciously, that have built up as a means to protect. And you notice your heart softening a little bit. Let's bend our legs, and both feet are flat. Okay, now there's a little space if you slide your right foot and behind your left bum cheek, and then reach down with your left hand, and you can connect the left hand to the top of your right foot. And you're going to lift your butt and then slide your right knee down. And once you get there, roll on to your right side. Keep your right knee sliding down, and then draw your left knee up towards your chest. So a pretty easy way and to get in a pose called cattail. Left hand holding on to your right foot, and slide your right knee straight down as far as you can. And then you can lift the head and reset as you roll your left shoulder down. And you find yourself in a quad stretch on the right leg, and then some rotation through your spine. And find the space to let your head settle, chin to your chest. And close your eyes here. And when you close the circuit of a pose, and it's a totally different interpretation to your mind. And by closing the circuit, I mean your body is connected to your body. And so the energetic circle, and that flow has to go back through your heart. Versus if your arms were out to the side on the floor, then energy can disperse out through your hands, out through your feet. And so notice if you can pick up that interpretation with your mind as you lie here and observe your breaths. Notice if you're holding on to a lot of tension in your face and your eyes. And relax your forehead and your lips. And the skin around your eyes. Tops of the cheeks, back of the jaw. Notice the shift. Notice your mind and releasing as you get heavier and heavier. And let's feel 3 more breaths in this shape. And if you just start to soften the right hand on the left thigh, you'll notice your legs sliding out of your hand. And then you can do the same with your left hand to your right foot. And you move slowly as you start to unravel the legs. And it's a bit of a pretzel position. You can close your eyes, observe all the sensations. As you slide your right hip back out, and make your way onto your bum and straighten both legs out long. And then finally go ahead and settle into Shavasana and experience in the rebound. And now the flow can ripple and effect out to the tips of your fingers and the tips of your toes. And so you go from a very grounded, heart center, palpable, energetic compression to now opening up and releasing and letting it all come out. Feel your lungs to the bottom of your lungs. Feels like the breath is coming up to your chest. And soft sigh as you exhale. And to release and to let go that right side. That is your masculine side. That is your sun side. And as we maneuver with our minds, and the inclusivity of our minds and our thoughts, and we can watch them. And then let's go ahead and bring your left knee towards your chest. Interlace your fingers on top of the shin, anywhere below the knee. And reset your head, neck, and shoulders if you need to. And relax flat to the upper back. And let all your toe tips be soft. And so interesting, and you may have noticed this with yourself, is we've had a lot more opportunity to be with ourselves, that we have a tendency of acknowledging days as good days and bad days. And we have a tendency of acknowledging Mondays and Fridays. And perhaps we can explore the day for the day. The light for the light. Our energy and presence and what we can contribute into ourselves and to our world. With a much more narrow focus, like hours, if not minutes. And so we're here and we're learning about presence. You know that we're never perfecting presence. We're not trying in any way for perfection in our yoga practice or in our lives. We understand that life maneuvers and shifts. It needs to be nimble and be kind. You can keep everything where it is. Gently rock your left knee out and in. And next time your hips are flat, and start to lift the left heel, release the grip on the shin and switch it so it's on the back of the leg, hamstring. And without forcing it, you can continue to lift the heel and feel a sensation in the back of the leg. Reset your head, let your shoulders stay heavy. And continue to relax with your natural breath. Notice if you're adding force, and if your jaw has gotten tight, relax it. And roll your tongue around the inside of your lips. And eventually, we practice together enough, you're gonna hear these cues. When you're walking to the train station, or when you're driving in your car and you're sitting in traffic, you'll just start to hear these cues and being more aware of your body. Take a deeper breath in, please. And on your exhale, softly and slowly start to let your left foot come down. And soften your grip. Let your left leg come all the way down and release all the way to your back once again. And close your eyes. Feel down from your left hip and to your toes. Enjoy it. All right, no rush. Bend your legs. Bring your feet flat onto your mat. And there'll be a nice little space if you slide your left heel in behind your right butt cheek. You reach down with your right hand, grab the top of your left foot. And then you just start to roll your left knee to your outer thigh down onto the ground. And you lift your bum and then adjust your hips. And then the right knee and the leg bend, carry over your body. And left hand connects to your right thigh. And closing the circuit. And reset the head. And shoulders heavy, chin to your chest. It may take you some practice to evolve into that relationship of kindness and compassion. Okay, and light, when you're in poses that close the circuit, they can be a little intense, so be patient with yourself. You may understand that you're laying the groundwork. You're developing not only the relationship with your body, but also with your mind. And for when intense situations come along in the future, and we have more space and to see them and deal with them and process them. And because of our practice that we're doing tonight. brush, and when you're ready, you can start to soften and release the hands. And let your hips come back flat. And you release this pretzel and let both of your legs go straight down your mat. And if you really pay attention, close your eyes. And these legs and these hips right now, they might not even feel like your own. They might not even feel totally connected to the rest of your body. Go ahead and take a little sigh and enjoy this. And go ahead and bend your legs, please. Let's come into a supported bridge. And if you have a block or a pillow or a folded blanket, you can take it out from underneath your head, press down into your feet, and then start to lift your hips up and slide your stack underneath your sacrum, triangular bone at the base of your spine. Okay, so no need to go too high. And then separate your feet a little bit wider and let your knees turn in towards each other. And soles of your feet soft. And little to no weight in your neck. You might even rock on the back of your head side to side a couple times. And then let your head settle at center. And take your hands down so you're either holding your block in place or just make sure whatever your hips are on doesn't move. And then go ahead and start to lift your feet so your knees are over your hips. And keep your sacrum flat. And then float both legs and heels up towards the ceiling. And reset your head. Let your chin settle into your chest. And this should not take much strength here. And to keep your legs hovering. And this flow circulating. And we're inverting. And our bodies, it's not typical that your feet are above your head. And once you're sure that your block or your stack isn't going to move, you can just relax your arms down by your sides. And close the eyes. A little bend to your knees is fine. Don't worry about if you're muscling it. Bend your knees more, and so that your legs can essentially float in space. You might really begin to feel the effects at this point. And close your eyes, keep your breath soft, and we got about 1 more minute here. And as slowly as you can, start to bend your knees. As you bring your heels back down. And it could feel pretty trippy. We're really exploring these sensations and through our lower body and our limbs. You notice as the flow comes back into what it's used to with your feet below your knees, then eventually your knees and below your hips. And when your feet touch the ground, then go ahead and lift your bum an inch and take whatever stack you have underneath you out. And then let your bum come all the way back down onto the ground. And you feel it all the way out. Let your legs straighten. It might feel like you've grown a good 6 inches. Or at least your legs feel 6 inches longer. And take a belly breath and a sigh if that would feel good. And notice at this point you couldn't rush it if you wanted to. You bend your legs and roll onto your left side. And take it slow. You can embrace your core just a little bit as you move around. If your low back feels a little vulnerable, then roll onto your left side. And use your right hand, come up to a seat. And then make your way all the way over into all fours. And from all fours, spread your knees out as wide as your mat. Crawl up the mat, and so you have room behind you, big toes together, and then sit back in between your heels. And you could do a couple modified cat-cows here on your shins, so just tuck your chin, lean back, pull your belly in. And then like you're waking up, roll your shoulders down, lift your heart, and let your gaze follow. And then you do this 2 more times at your own pace. Okay, and you're welcome to bring any bit of your stack, okay, behind you, at which when we recline, and you can lie down onto the stack, putting it underneath your shoulders. And support yourself as you maneuver your way down anywhere from your hands. And tuck the tail. And play with your knees wider, a little closer. Come down onto your elbows. And keep your tailbone forward, and then you can release in your back onto the stack or the floor. And eventually your head all the way back down. And reclining hero's pose, everybody. And let it happen. And be with it as it happens. You reassure through your mind that you are strong enough, and there is enough peace and love and compassion. And once you understand your center, you could sit in this pose for a very long time. As you're building a relationship into your center, you may find yourself struggling through moments, and that's okay. We've got to do that to get to this. Every part of your process is meaningful. And observe 10 more breaths in this shape, please. And let it loosen. And watch your mind if it's yearning to control. Just watch it. See what it's trying to control. And then bring it back as you observe the air coming into your body and the air going out of your body. And literally filing the edges and the hard edges of control. So they're not as spiky, they're not as pointy and sharp. Go ahead and use your hands on your ankles or shins. A very heavy head. Use your belly as you start to bring your chin to your chest. And belly in. You make your way back through your elbows. And then come all the way back up onto your shins. That is quite a ride for most of us. Pause, no need to react. And bring your knees in a little bit closer. And soften your chin, let your low back receive some of the flow. And tonight I think we can all use a big hug, so let's do a belly shavasana. Bring your hands forward. And let your legs slide back, and you can just kick your stack out from behind you. And then come down to lie onto your belly, please. And you can rest your arms in any shape that feels comfortable. And turn to either cheek if that feels good. Close your eyes, relax all the muscles in your face, and feel the back of your jaw release completely. It would be pretty normal if you're so relaxed that you're drooling right now. And then feel this embrace, like a big, beautiful hug. And pressing your chest and your belly into the mat, the front of your hips. Okay, your thighs, your shins, the tops of your feet and your ankles. And this detox in general is likely to be tracing its way deeper and deeper into your body. Not only each night, I mentioned this a while ago, I don't know if anybody's ever practiced detox every evening. And so giving yourself permission, honoring the space that is being created, it could take a little time to process, to understand, to weave its meaning into your life. And so sometimes it's okay just to let it be, let it breathe. You don't have to do something with your practice. It can just be here for you and support you, and teaching us to support each other. If you're so relaxed and you end up falling asleep here on your belly, please do. I hope you all have a beautiful night. And I look forward to seeing you in the morning for our flow practice. And take care, everybody. I'll see you soon.